This video shows a group of people playing a sport at an indoor gym in Taiwan when the unexpected happened. They pause for a while, seemingly sensing the impending doom and getting ready to make a run for it. And suddenly, without any warning whatsoever, the whole ceiling came down on them as they immediately fled for their lives. The earthquake had a magnitude of 6.8, toppling a 3-story building and temporarily trapping 4 people inside, causing the loss of 1 person's life and leaving 9 people with minor injuries. This next video involves none other than a police officer. The dashcam footage shows an officer who, while driving, was texting on his phone. He glances on his phone and occasionally looks back onto the road. The car eventually crashes into an SUV, causing the airbag to pop out, and smoke is immediately seen coming from the vehicle. The car automatically makes an attempt to call 911 for help, but the police officer doesn't seem to be paying any attention to it.
Sync will attempt to call 911. If you wish to cancel the call, please hold the phone button. A 911 assist call is being placed.
The officer pushes the door open and leaves the car in search of fresh air as he coughs from the smoke. In this next footage, CCTV cameras capture the collision between 2 vehicles on February 8th, 2023 in Baltimore. A vehicle fleeing from police rams into another car in the middle of the road and then goes through a building, which then collapses on the 2 cars. Police officers immediately rush onto the scene to help the people buried in the vehicles beneath the rubble. Sadly, this poor pedestrian was also hit just before the car crashed into the building and was also buried under the rubble, leaving him unalive. Replay clip in slow motion that shows the pedestrian that was hit just before the crash into the building. This CCTV footage shows a fatal shooting of 1 man in the streets of Houston. The group of 3 men had arrived in a car and shot a man before abandoning the vehicle and running off. A minivan parked nearby is now seen pulling into the driveway. The men hurriedly make their way to the van and can be seen pointing their gun at the driver of the vehicle, which happens to be a lady. She is forcefully pulled out of the car by one of the men with her little baby, who was in a baby car seat. The group of men get into the car and make away with it. This next CCTV footage is of a prison fight caught on tape. It seems to occur at the dining area of the prison. For no obvious reason, a group of prisoners start to attack 2 other prisoners. One of the attacked prisoners runs off to the staircase while the other is knocked down. The prisoners waste no time in sorting themselves into 2 groups to fight. The prisoner who was knocked out was pulled to the other side. The leader of the other group proceeds to chase and attack the other group of prisoners as they run off. The prison officers eventually come to break it up, tasing the angry group leader and ordering the other prisoners to get on the ground. This gang-related shootout was captured on CCTV surveillance footage in Cleveland sometime in July 2018 between Cleveland's Heartless Felons gang and the Loyal Always gang. People can be seen walking about as everything seems normal, but they certainly were not expecting what was about to happen next. A car suddenly stops in the middle of the road and opens fire at the people on the other side. One of them pulls out his own gun and fires back, while others run and hide behind cars to avoid the shots. After a while of shooting at cars, one of the shooters from the car leaves the vehicle and chases down his targets. The others start to come out of their hiding places as the shooting seem to have stopped. Just then, the other shooter from the back seat opens fire on them, forcing them to find cover again, after which he also gets out of the car and makes his way down the street. Everyone else makes a run for it to save their dear lives, and the car is abandoned. This next clip is body cam footage of a car theft suspect who was shot by a police officer. The suspect gets down from the stolen vehicle and makes a run for it, as the officer also gets down from his car and follows in pursuit. He tells the suspect to show his hands, but he just keeps running anyway. The suspect is confronted from the other side by another police officer when he turns and changes directions. At this point, the first officer fires shots at the suspect, which puts him to the ground. The suspect, now fearing for his life, pleads to the officer not to shoot and that he was innocent.
Okay, no, I ain't do nothing. I ain't do nothing. I promise to God I ain't do nothing.
We got you.
Okay.
Radio shots fired by the police.
Okay.
Mail's down. Start EMS. 522.
The officer proceeds to handcuff the suspect as he asks the officers why he had to be shot, to which the first officer says he had a gun in his hand, and the suspect denies when he did in fact run out of the car with a gun in hand. He is handcuffed and led away.
I promise you, I didn't even hit no gun. I was just trying to run.
Where you hit? Where you hit?
You got it right here.
Where are you hit?
I'm hitting my leg, promise. I promise to God I wasn't even trying to hit y'all. I feel it leaking.
In this body cam footage, an officer is driving down the street when a man throws his shirt at the officer's car, after which the officer immediately gets down from his vehicle to hear a man yelling for help on the ground.
I'll respond over to 1860.
He goes behind his car to meet the shirtless man who charges at the officer, causing the officer to shoot at the man. The man, however, wastes no time in getting back up and attacking another officer as he and the officer exchange blows. Other officers soon jump on the man and restrain him. They proceed to handcuff the man and lead him away, asking him to show his hands.
Come on, buddy.
This footage, captured with a mobile phone, shows a demolition of a building that goes wrong as the building collapses earlier than it was supposed to, putting the lives of bystanders in danger. The collapse sends debris and dust all over the place, causing bystanders to run for their lives. A man can be heard saying someone was seriously injured by the unexpected collapse.
Somebody got hit.
In this CCTV footage, a home is flooded as a man is shown walking through the water. But the man soon realizes that he was lucky to get away from there when he did, because of what happened next. The volume of water on the other side of the wall was so great that it collapsed the wall and further flooded the living room. Screams can be heard coming from somewhere in the house, but both of the people in the house at the time were said to have survived the accident. This next clip, recorded from a mobile phone, shows a construction accident in Istanbul. The workers suspect that the building is collapsing, so they go up to safe ground, leaving their bulldozer behind. Creaking sounds can be heard coming from the building as the structures start to fall apart. The whole building eventually comes down, burning the bulldozer beneath it, as the workers move away from the site in haste. On June 12, 2024, CCTV surveillance footage shows the robbery of a jewelry store in Sunnyvale, California. A group of 20 people with their faces covered with masks and hoodies break into the store and waste no time in beginning their loot. They begin shattering the glasses in the store with the tools in their hands and immediately take as much jewelry as they can, keeping them in the bags they had come with. After looting the whole store, the criminals hastily left the establishment. This next footage from a body cam was captured, showing a pilot who had just crashed on a train track and was stuck in the plane with a train coming from the distance at 60 miles per hour. Officers came to the pilot's rescue just in the nick of time, saving his life.
Police body cam footage showing the true heroism 4 seconds before impact.
Go, 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 go!
The Metro commuter plane obliterating the small plane.
This CCTV footage shows a couple of people sitting outside when suddenly everyone starts to run. It is, however, not clear at first what they are running from. Then suddenly the building starts to collapse as a result of the 6.8 magnitude earthquake. Another piece of footage shows people at a restaurant just before the earthquake starts. Sensing the danger they were in, they all ran out of the building to save their lives. This CCTV footage shows a group of women on a rooftop when they notice what looks like an explosion and immediately move away and run back indoors. Just mere seconds later, there is a huge explosion that sends debris flying over the rooftop, damaging many structures. They had just escaped their deaths by going back indoors just in time. In the city of Iwaki, Japan, this phone recording shows a tsunami coming in the distance, causing the water levels in the area to immediately start to rise. Soon enough, the tsunami comes gushing onto the streets, flooding cars and other structures. It can be seen flooding, moving several cars in its path, and destroying buildings. The tsunami was so strong that it moved and carried away a 2-story building. Good thing the people all made it to higher ground in time. This next footage from a mobile phone shows a group of people on vacation in Koh Ngai, Thailand, when a tsunami struck. They were relaxing at the beach when the calm waters became not so calm.
He said the entrance will be blocked, but the people inside will be all right. When they get out, probably tomorrow.
I locked in now. Then Frank called us on bat phone saying, big issue, don't go.
Before long, the water becomes really turbulent and makes its way to where they were gathered, forcing them to pack up, taking what they could in a hurry as the water became even more turbulent.
Watch out!
Shocking footage from a tourist bus camera in China shows a deadly crash. The driver steers the bus smoothly in an attempt to reverse when, out of nowhere, a truck crashes into the bus, flinging the bus driver and several other passengers out of the window. Another piece of footage shows the passengers during the impact of the truck, as many of them are flung all over the place as the bus tumbles. This CCTV footage from a restaurant in Paris shows a Tesla car speeding through the street just before its fatal crash up ahead. Everyone at the restaurant is frightened by the speed of the vehicle. And less than a second later, they all hear the sound as the vehicle crashes. People from the street quickly go up to the scene of the accident. The car had crashed into the avenue, leaving several injured and causing the death of one person. This CCTV footage at a warehouse shows workers and customers going about their business when the most unexpected thing happens to a lady as she goes to check out a product. A standing fan is nearby as she inspects what she's interested in, and suddenly her hair gets stuck in the fan, pulling her to the ground and knocking over a box. People immediately rush to her rescue and attempt to untangle her hair to free her. In this next clip, a memorable day quickly turns into disaster. The footage from a video recorder shows the couple at their wedding in Iraq, dancing on the main stage. Fireworks shoot up for several seconds as the couple dance, giving a spectacular view. But neither the guests nor the couple would have imagined what was to happen next after the fireworks died down. Debris of fire starts to fall from the ceiling as everyone starts to make a run for it, parents grabbing their kids. This poor man's head was even set on fire as he ran in a frenzy trying to put it out. Soon the whole venue was set ablaze. This next footage from a phone camera shows a man continuously throwing bricks at a pillar, trying to see if it will fall. But he had no idea what he was about to cause.
Не продавило крышей. Блять, 3 кирпича, пиздец.
He throws one last brick at it, and that whole area of the building comes collapsing to the ground as he runs away, fearing for his life and for the damage he had unintentionally caused. This next phone recording shows a group of people outside a 5-story building in Nairobi, Kenya. The building was coming apart little by little, and all the bystanders knew this and were just waiting to watch the inevitable happen. And soon enough, the whole building will crumble to the ground. People gather around the collapsed building in an effort to rescue anyone who may have been trapped under the rubble. This footage shows the exact moment that a dam in Brazil collapses at a mining complex, causing the deaths of 65 people.
O vídeo, o estouro da barragem lá em cima, o terreno todo cedendo e se movendo, e a lama já vai transbordando pela mata e vai indo em direção à parte mais baixa do complexo. A gente sabe que a mina de feijão estava desativada desde 2000.
Cars can be seen driving around desperately trying to escape as a dramatic gush of mud approaches.
Essas são imagens de equipamentos da Vale que foram cedidas. Você vê aí, foram cedidas, claro, pelas autoridades que estão investigando o desastre.
This CCTV footage from a hydro dam in Russia shows the moment a large volume of water floods the whole plant, damaging structures and endangering lives. Another piece of footage shows people in the building running for their lives and trying to leave the plant in their cars to escape the water. Surveillance footage shows construction workers on the roof of a building when an accident happens. All of a sudden, the floor beneath their feet collapses, revealing the metal bars that were used for its construction and destroying one side of the building structure. The workers hang on for their lives until the building stops falling apart, not knowing what to do next. This dashcam footage reveals the details of a robbery involving an Uber driver. The man, who is soon revealed to be wearing a ski mask, gets in the back of her Uber, and less than 20 minutes into the ride, the man pulls out a gun and presses it to the back of the driver's head.
In the back is the suspect, Calvin Crew. You see Crew get in the back of Christy Spacuzza's Uber. This was back in February, the video released by the court yesterday. Less than 20 minutes into the ride, police say Crew pulled out a gun.
She begins to plead with the man, letting him know that she has a family, to which he responds, saying so did he, and proceeding to tell her to drive the vehicle with the gun still in her head. She pleads with him to stop this time, telling him she has 4 kids, but the man does not care, and tells her again to drive the car. He then reaches out to stop the dash cam from recording. Sadly, the woman was never seen alive again.
Oh man, I got a family. What are you doing?
I got a family too, now drive.
What are you doing?
Drive.
Please stop.
Drive the car, miss.
I have 4 kids. What are you doing?
Drive the car.
Dashcam footage shows a self-driving Uber car moments before a car accident involving a lady crossing the road with her bike. The woman in the driver's seat seemed to have been on her phone since the car was driving itself. She suddenly screams in horror as the car hits the old lady. This raised questions about why the self-driving car did not slow down when a human crossed its path, since it was designed not to decelerate when a human or obstacle is in its path. This car accident caused the demise of the 49-year-old lady and was the first accident of its kind involving a self-driving vehicle in the USA. In Mukilteo, Washington, this dashcam captures a plane crash. While vehicles wait in traffic, A plane can be seen descending from the sky and crashing through electric poles before eventually falling to the ground and going ablaze. Black smoke can be seen in the air as cars change directions to avoid going through the scene of the crash. A car is moving through the streets of Lucca, Malta, when the dashcam captures a disastrous accident involving a plane and a building. The plane descends to the ground and across the street, crashing into a building and causing a massive explosion as a huge cloud of flames is seen going up into the sky. Dashcam footage shows the moment a semi-truck crashed into an SUV that had been pulled over by the police and stopped in the middle of the freeway. The truck drove the SUV off the road and into the bushes. A police officer quickly rushed to the scene. The crash had caused the demise of 4 passengers. The dashcam of a car parked at the train tracks captures the moment the train derails off the tracks. The train, which was several cars long, had passed smoothly over the tracks as the car driver was waiting patiently so it could drive to the other side. Suddenly, one of the tanks being pulled by the train derails off the tracks and onto the road, crashing into the traffic lights. The car immediately pulls back and reroutes. Good thing the driver knew to park far from the tracks. Otherwise, he could have gotten his car hit, or worse. Dashcam footage from the semi-truck shows moments just before it crashes into a car. One of the cars up ahead suddenly stops, which causes the car right behind it to crash into it, putting it in the path of the semi-truck. The semi-truck then comes crashing into the same vehicle that had been hit in the back, pushing it back into its original lane, where 2 other cars crashed as a result of the original accident. This CCTV footage caught a fire accident involving a trash can somewhere in Finland. Something can be seen burning in the trash can as the man comes running towards it to see what's inside. He dashes into the house to get a fire extinguisher, but is too late and would have stayed indoors if he knew what was about to happen next. As he hurries to the trash can with the fire extinguisher in hand to quickly put out the fire, the trash can explodes just as he gets close to it, sending debris in every direction and knocking the man to the ground. He, however, gets up and is luckily unharmed by the explosion. It is a good thing it didn't explode earlier when he was looking into the trash can. CCTV footage at an aluminium plant reveals the moment a terrible accident occurred that destroyed the whole building. 2 workers are seen going about their business when suddenly a high-pressure and highly flammable liquid gushed out of one of the structures. The workers immediately make a run for it as the floor is set ablaze. Just as the 2 workers leave the scene, what looks like a rain of fire comes down on the whole place, sending down the debris from the building structures with it. Soon, the whole place is destroyed as structures are seen falling apart. Good thing the workers left the scene when they did.